Greetings, fellow Guitar-Lalians. Jeff Weinberger coming at you here with a new tutorial. I'd like to go over a fairly easy song today. This one's for you beginners, maybe intermediates, people that are interested in simple chords but used in a really rockin' kind of way. That was, of course, Mary Jane's Last Dance, Tom Petty, way back in 1993. He did it, I think they released it on his Greatest Hits album from back then, and then shortly thereafter they came out with Wildflowers, which is one of my all-time favorite Tom Petty albums, all-time favorite rock albums in general. Rick Rubin was involved in this song, Last Dance with Mary Jane. So it's a really cool chord progression. It's very basic. You're going to find some of the same chords in this you might find in, say, a Neil Young song, Creedence Clearwater song. It has a lot to do with that Laurel Canyon influence, and Tom Petty obviously was a huge fan of 60s and 70s rock music, and he wasn't afraid to show it in his own songwriting. So this has some of those traces way back to some of the classic rock stuff. And now even 1993 is probably considered classic rock by now, being 2023. But let's get right into it. Let's look at what makes this song tick. So you've got the key of A minor, a very nice, evocative kind of key to write a rock song in. And in fact, Tom Petty does start the song on A minor. That's no big deal. But the way that they do it, sometimes he and Mike Campbell have two different parts, by the way. If you listen to it, you can hear a lot of guitar playing, but it's distributed amongst two different guitars. So Mike Campbell does a lot of fills. He does a lot of things with intervals, like sixths, like, you know, things like that. And little licks and riffs that might be apart from what Tom Petty was doing. But Tom Petty's strumming on his electric guitar. I'm using my old 72 Gibson SG here, but not sure what he used. I'd have to research it. But he used some kind of like pretty clean sounding guitar. It might have had a little bit of grit on there, probably a little bit of like a Fender tube amp distortion or something like that. He had an extensive guitar and amp collection, as did Mike Campbell. They had a warehouse full, a rehearsal studio full of vintage gear, everything you can imagine. One of the most impressive guitar collections in the whole world. But basically, he got that kind of semi-distorted, but not really distorted sound. You could call it clean. You could call that a clean guitar sound. But if you turn your guitar up, of course, that drives the amp a little more, especially if you have a tube amp, and that gives you a little more grit. But I'm really just trying to show you these chords and this way to take very basic chords that beginners can handle and make great music with it. So A minor, Tom Petty tends to hammer on his A minor a lot. He might take it from the open strings and take all three fingers that are involved in an A minor and hammer it on like this. That's one thing that makes this song cool, is embellishing the A minor chord like that. You can also hammer on any one of your fingers. You can hammer on your first finger on that chord. You can hammer on your third finger. You can hammer on your second finger. Or any combination of those, which I was doing with all three. So up to you how you want to deal with that. But any kind of hammer-ons are welcome in this to embellish the chord. Another thing both of them do, Petty and Mike Campbell, is they add their pinky to their A minor chord to make it an A minor 7. Kind of a Neil Youngish sort of sound. And Pink Floyd, etc. Minor 7s are really cool. They're just one step up from minor chords, but they're so tasty. They have so much flavor to them. Just by adding your pinky there on the high E string 3rd fret, you get this, you give that A minor chord new life. You can also take your third finger away, and that's still an A minor 7. And you can even take your pinky away and just have two fingers on the guitar like that, almost like a C chord, and that is a great A minor 7 too. That's used in a lot of music. So you guys should know all these A minor chords and all these A minor 7 chords. They're really vital. But it's all based around the most basic, easy Mel Bay guitar method, volume 1, A minor, standard issue, cowboy chords we sometimes call them, or cowgirl chords, however that applies to you. So you've got the most basic chord, and such a cool song is based off of it.